Scary Mysteries, Twisted Twos, Juan Vallejo Corona, and Crop Circles. Tales of hauntings, murder, and scary mysteries. Every week, Twisted Twos dives into a pair of uniquely terrifying true stories that are worthy of a more in-depth look. For this week, we check out one of the worst serial killers in California's history and the mysterious existence and possible origins of crop circles. Get ready for Scary Mysteries, Twisted Twos. Number 1. Juan Vallejo Corona. In the spring of 1971, a peach orchard farm in Yuba County, California became the site of a gruesome discovery. It was the hiding spot for 25 dead bodies. Mexican-born Juan Vallejo Corona first crossed the border to the United States when he was 16 years old, and he started working on a farm in Imperial Valley picking carrots and melons. Afterwards, he moved to Sacramento Valley, then to Yuba City at the suggestion of his half-brother Natividad, who had a restaurant business there. Corona then married his first wife in October of 1953 and established himself as a local ranch worker. Things were going well. But in 1955, a heavy flood happened that killed more than 38 people in the area and was considered among the most destructive to ever be recorded in Northern California. With the number of deaths and the destruction it brought, Corona suffered a major mental breakdown. He started believing he was living in a ghost land and that those around him were all dead. As a result, he was admitted to a mental institution where he received 23 electric shock treatments. He was released 3 months later and diagnosed with having had a schizophrenic reaction paranoid episode. It was also around this time that he was deported back to Mexico. Shortly after, he returned to the United States with a proper green card visa. Despite the schizophrenic episodes and unpredictable temper tantrums, he was touted as a hard worker and by 1962 had become a licensed labor contractor, hiring workers to man local fruit ranches in the area. Corona was described as outwardly macho and was often angrily violent with gay men, according to those who knew him. In 1971, a farmer who hired him to secure contract workers saw a fresh hole dug out on a peach orchard nearby. The next day, he found the hole filled in. He was suspicious and called police. The moment they investigated, they found a man's body. He had been stabbed and hacked to death. Soon enough, the area was searched and multiple bodies began popping up. In one grave where another body was discovered, police located meat receipts with Juan Corona's signature. On the next 2 graves, they found Bank of America deposit slips with Corona's address and name. During further investigation, witnesses said the victims were last seen riding in Corona's pickup. Armed with circumstantial evidence, police arrested Corona on May 26, 1971. His home was then searched, and it was here that more evidence linking him to the victims was found. They discovered 2 blood-stained knives, a pistol, blood-smeared clothing, and a machete. Even more incriminating is they discovered a ledger that listed out 34 names as well as dates, which included 7 of the known victims. The search for the bodies continued even after Corona's arrest. By the time it ended on June 4th of 1971, a total of 25 bodies, all male victims, were found buried there. 4 of them still haven't been identified to this day. Corona's targets were male farm workers ranging between 40 to 65 years old. Most of them were homeless and alcoholics who were likely lured by Corona with the promise of shelter and a job. About 15 of them were discovered in a state of partial undress, and it's speculated they may have been assaulted in some way before being fatally hacked with a machete in the head or stabbed with a knife. After they were dead, he would hit them in the head again before burying them with their hands placed around their heads. It's unknown whether Corona wrote the names on the ledgers before or after he killed his victims. Eventually, though, he was charged and found guilty of murdering 25 people and is currently serving multiple life sentences. He's been denied parole 8 times, the most recent being in 2016. Number 2. Crop circles. First coined in the 1980s, the term crop circle points to mysterious circle patterns resulting from flattened field crops. The majority of crop circles are found in the United Kingdom, but several others have shown up all over the world. There are two schools of thought regarding these mysterious patterns. One is that they're nothing but pure hoax done by people and even artists who want to make a statement. Then there's the other school believing that these crop circles are genuinely alien, some sort of map or message that they're trying to communicate. Although the origins of the crop circle phenomenon are vague, there are many that point to old woodcuts and accounts stating that they may have been around since the early 1600s, or at least that's when they were first recorded. However, the majority of the known crop circles, and certainly the ones we have today, are of modern origins. In recent times, the first simple crop circles started showing up in the 1970s. However, after a decade, more complicated patterns began appearing. Some of these even combined complex and elaborate mathematical equations. One of the most famous appeared in July of 1996 right across from the famous Stonehenge monument in Wiltshire. This particular design featured a fractal pattern dubbed as the Julia set. Many say that even if the simpler crop circles can be explained away as nothing but the result of a random weather phenomenon and the like, this particular one, by design, showed intelligence behind it. To add to the mystery, this crop circle is said to have appeared in less than an hour during the daytime. Because of this, many say that this crop circle had to have been created by extraterrestrial means. Some explained it as spaceship landings, invisible energy beams, or some sort of energy, but this would all change in 1991. Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley stepped forward in 1991 and claimed they were responsible for creating many of the crop circles starting in 1978 using tools like a wood plank, rope, and baseball cap fitted with a loop to help create perfect lines. Despite this admission and even a demonstration from the two, there are still those who believe there are crop circles that cannot be man-made. Crop circle experts, dubbed as cereologists, point to certain distinct phenomenons only present in the authentic crop circles as proof that they are not man-made. They often cite the supernatural and, of course, UFOs. Others point to weather disturbances and causing the unique formations. Some scientists have said there's a difference to the crops found inside the circle and those found outside. For instance, biophysicist William Levengood once said there were deformities in the grain that was found inside of the circles. Another physicist, Elchio Hasselhoff, also added that the seeds taken from the bent-over plants inside the circle grew at a slower rate compared to those taken outside of the circle. Another proposed reason for certain crop circles is because of magnetism. According to Colin Andrews in 2000, while 80% of crop circles are man-made, the less elaborate ones could have been caused by a 3-degree shift in the Earth's magnetic field. This form of phenomenon could create a current that electrocutes the wheat, which caused them to flatten and create the strange patterns. Regardless of its true origins, the creation and design of some of these crop circles are impressive enough to invite mystery and plenty of awe. While there's no doubt some have been man-made, with so many having shown up all around the world, it's very possible that others have been created by something else entirely that we simply don't understand. So there were two of the most killer and mysterious stories around. The world can be a crazy place, and Twisted Twos is sure to show you why. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to our channel. We have new Scary Mysteries videos coming out every single week that we know you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.